recognition of the fact that as CRTs we generally work or are able to work less days than full-time teachers, so why do we have to do the same amount of PD? I don't have a problem with it from a professional point of view, but access to PD that you can afford is extremely hard.
Oh, no, I agree. I know where you're coming from, but from the Institute's point of view, that you're not second-class teachers, that everyone's registered at the same level.
But on that point, the PD can be just clarified, or how much of it has to be face-to-face and how much of it has to be personal reading and reflection time?
Question. In the old policy, it did talk about 50% or more of that to be research-based, so sourced from outside the immediate work environment. But that phrase actually caused a lot of consternation in the teaching profession for people in class, in staff, you know, permanent, and for principals. What does that mean? External, internal, informal, formal, reading, personal. So that was taken out of this policy. And all it says is that the PD must be standards referenced. The PD that you do, professional learning that you list, if you can relate it to one of those 8 standards and write your reflection about why, you know, yeah, wonderful.
It doesn't have to be across equally between the 1, 2 and 8.
No, it doesn't. So I've also attached one of these sort of record forms and have it on the bottom too. You don't have to cover those 8 standards and try and, you know, within that 20 hours, cover the whole lot. Because you might do a course that's Masters of Education that is all about content, or, you know, you might, yeah, it's not going to be that way.
You didn't have to.
You didn't have to, no.
I thought you had to do, right at the beginning, you had to do so much that was subject-based and so much that was general type thing.
No, the terminology was sourced from 50% or more sourced from outside the immediate work environment, which gave the impression that it was school-based, you know, subject-based, more formal, and the external, which may be the professional reading and the, you know, that's where, no, it was never that defined.
When it says it has to be standards referenced, why do you have to write the reflection?
To show how that's your verification. The reflection is your verification of why you believe that was learning for you.
So you have to have that reflection.
Yeah, on most document. If you've got a certificate or something showing it, you can use that to verify. But
if it's personal, you should write it.
yeah, you should. If it's professional reading or you're online or something like that, then if you write a couple of statements, that's all. It doesn't have to be a thesis on it. It's just, this is, you know, tonight, this evening, with Mel and the discussion that you've been having, collegial discussions on our profession. That, you know, and how that's informed me about, you know, the national agenda, if you like, and the departments of education. Whatever it is that you've got out of it, that's all you're asked to write.
I had a job with a company that Morgan did, and it was I was a behaviour analyst. Part of my role was working with short diagnosed clients as a counselling role and behaviour intervention role and documentation, that sort of thing. And I got put to Sydney. I did a week of, I think it was something called Martineo, which is it's called Leads from Sweden on your one's own strength. It's about identifying where a person's at, how to teach them the next step in their behaviour, their autistic people. I was running did about 150 hours of that, lots of videos, lots of analysis, lots of discussion, all that kind of stuff. How do I put that? Is that acceptable in terms of my teaching presentation, if I'm able to? Because there's a book about teaching, there's a book about autism, and there's we studied all that, plus a lot of video footage in large groups about when the connection mode was, or when the action mode was, and how to communicate clearly to be able to give clear instructions and to make it measurable and achievable, all that stuff.
You've just used all the words, hasn't
So
it? Measurable, achievable,
Yeah.
subject, student-orientated, strengths.
Yeah,
You know,
does that meet is part of professional development?
What do your colleagues think? Absolutely.
Okay, all right. I just
Why? Why do you think that?
Well, it's covered all of those in. What is
Well,
it?
the skills, because of the skills base.
If you think of the standards, it's knowledge, your knowledge. You built on your knowledge base, especially about how students learn, how to teach effectively, which is standard 1. Standard 3 is knowing your students. Now in that case, the students with autism, you have a greater knowledge about students with autism that you take into every context that you're teaching in. So already 1 and 3 are there.
Okay,
Strategies are 6, and resources, you've got those.
So I did those. Now, if I set the front of set each of the books, perhaps ring up the service provider, see if they can give you a receipt or it says that I'm a practitioner or something like that. And if not, if the reflection plus that information plus the photos as 2 colours, would that be able to suffice?
Yeah, it would. If you've got something you can verify it with, like a payment slip or a certificate or something, then that helps. And this sheet talks about how you can verify. This is out from a very old I Teach magazine that came out about renewal in 2008. And it says what things can be included and recognised, but then how you can verify them. But you have integrity as a teacher. We have a code of conduct. We're professionals. So when you write down in your record that that's what you did, you've got the photocopy and your thoughts, everything you just spoke about then is what you could write. And no one's going to question you on that. It's not a test sort of thing. It's teachers do it constantly. We on our practice and our work. We learn. Yep. You've done. Yeah, you've done. And sometimes teachers will ring and ask, they're doing a master's degree in education, and they will ask that question. And they say, can I include it as PD? And you think, why would you think not? But it's that I'm unsure. So I want to know if I can. But if you can relate it to the standards, and anything you do in education does, so it's there, isn't it? And all of these sessions with Mel and what they do here, they're covered, because Mel has a great understanding of this. And so do you in the networks, because there are a lot of teachers out there that don't, and CRTs that don't know about the networks, don't know about their PD, get anxious about this, ring up and say, I'm going to let my registration go. And they might say to you, your friends too, it's too hard, I'm going to let it go, I can't do it. But when you start discussing it, you say, I've done it. I've had that many conversations and meetings, and I've read, and I've been online, and I've got hundreds of hours. It's that, isn't it? Just the discussion about it.
Is that about the amount or
you could add to it if you wanted to, but just a couple of statements is fine.
do something that relates to everything you talk about the standard?
Yeah.
You only take 3 or 4 lines or 1 or 2 lines, and that's still adequate.
And what you
much
could do.
detail, I might do more than I need at time.
Don't forget, the Institute's not going to see this generally, because 80,000 teachers in September of next year. If we asked 80,000 teachers to send in their records and their verification and their certificates, and there are 5 of us in standards branch, you can't, it's not possible. So there's an audit process, I don't even know, I used to say 10%, but I don't even think 10%, because that's still 8,000. So I don't know exactly how many it will be, but there will be some teachers, if you say yes, tick, tick, done. That'll be it for the majority of teachers. Your integrity, your professionalism is saying, yes, this is honest and true. I was, they're certified that I've done that. And there will be, for some teachers, a follow-up letter saying, could you please send in copies of your evidence of this? Otherwise, if that's not there, then you can't be sure that the process is really working.
And Donald, when are you expected to send in 5 years of evidence?
Yes. For this group, yes.
Yes. And how much time will they be given to pull that all together?
Pull it together, as some of the teachers say, that's what I'm going to do if I'm asked. So, I don't think there's a time on it, but it is certainly, you would want it to go a year, would it? Probably be a few months.
Yep. And obviously they're going to work with them.
Yeah, that's right. It's not, no, that's right. That's not what it's all about.
Right.
Generally, well, there'll be a phone call coming to you, can we help with you, sort of help you put it together, not put it, help you manually, but, advise you about some of the things you can include if you're concerned about it.
Some courses you go to are like a day, but some will give you 5 hours, where some will give you 5.5. Some,
Yeah,
and teachers only days, sometimes they say 6 hours. So
yes.
is there an actual standard that we need to be?
It's interesting, isn't it? The Institute says 6 hours of teaching for a day, and 3 hours, for half a day. But the PDs, I've noticed some, where we have our seminars, full day, we will include the lunchtime and the breaks as PD, because you're having conversations with your colleagues and generally about what you've been learning, involved with. So we would include it, whereas I know some providers don't. They'll put the actual hours as a 2-hour block, and then another 2-hour blocker. It's whatever they give you, I suppose. And some are starting to put that on the bottom of certificates. But then you could add another hour, because you could say, well, I'm putting another hour because in that time I discussed something with my colleague over there about the new literacy program at that school that I wasn't aware of, and
Yes, well, I know, I'll only get away with not orders and having done that hours, but that's not issue. So I just think that, so even though they had discussed the line of VIT, it's just the second part of my question. So we still need to do that, but people just use it for evidence in DB, is that what you're saying?
it's there. It's a good place. Some people are liking putting their records up electronically, and that's the way they learn and they do things. Others like to have paper copies and certificates, and the more I've got, the better. It's the more evidence I've got. And some of the beginning teachers said the same thing. I'd put a lot more in. But if it's up on the website, it's not going to be mandated that you've got to put it in through the PDI, but I'm pretty sure it won't be. But you can put it in there, and that will be your not PDI, my VIT. So you can put it in there, and it would be your evidence if you audited. So, okay, the portal. Last year, you might have got a letter. No, you've got a little brochure, and it wasn't very big, but it said my VIT is coming. And for our beginning teachers, they actually have their portal. It's a space on the Institute's website. Thank you, there it is, well done. And it's where your details will be for you. So for those who are confused about when did I renew, when did I pay, is my CRC up to date, you'll be able to get in there and find out the details for yourself, not make the phone call or email to us. So you set it up this way. You'll get an email from the Institute. Don't know. Thank you. But it's been a needs basis. So this group of teachers haven't needed it until now, really, generally speaking. Whereas our beginning teachers did and other people did for other reasons. So this year you'll be sent an email, and embedded in the email will be a link. So you click on the link and it will take you to setting up your account at school. So it asks you for your number, so that's your VIT number. And then it asks you for password, of course. That password is one that you choose. We don't give you a temporary password like banks do sometimes that you change. So choose one, but be really aware that it's case sensitive. So make it simple, keep it all lowercase or capitals, but record it somewhere else, please. And then it'll ask you to set up security questions, 5 of them.
That's right, that's sensitive.
Yes. The reason being, these are all your personal details, so, you know, but again, these are case sensitive, so you've got to remember your mother's maiden name and, you know, completely spelled properly and, you know, in capitals and lowercase and whatever. Keep it really simple, but record those somewhere.
I have advice, so I think I put something about my favourite again. I'm not sure which one was it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Or favourite colour, like my colour's change.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah. Really basic. The mother's maiden name,
yeah. That's right. And then when each time you go in, after that it'll ask you one of these security questions. And you've got so many chances, of course, as usual. And then it'll lock you out and say, ring the VIT. So we get all these phone calls from people going, oh no, it's not working, and I've forgotten what the password is. And then sometimes randomly, it will ask